welcome back. This week we are going to create a radial word design, but this project is going to be broken into two parts. So this week we're just going to focus on part one. Our objective this week is to be able to draw the radial word design. And all we're going to do to start with is just take one of the sections of our folded piece of paper and create a design using an inspiring word or a name. So in my demos, I chose my children's names, and in this one here, I chose the word inspire. So I want you to think of a name or a positive word that resonates with you and choose that for this design. I'd like to show you how to do this in a short video, so please watch. So here's an example of the final project that we're trying to get to. Now in the end, it looks like one finished image, but the way that we're going to start is just by creating our word in one of the sections. Now in this example, there's 4 sections. You're either going to have 4 sections or 8 sections. I tend to prefer 8 sections where you have a little bit more interest, a little bit more energy going on. And this one, I'm coming down, starts off with a triangle. So it's kind of up to you how you do this. I'm going to show you both options. So in order to do the radial name design project for part 1, you're going to need 4 things. You're going to need a white piece of paper, it can be computer paper, drawing paper, whatever you have, a pair of scissors, an eraser, and a pencil. Now step 1 will be creating your folds. So you have a couple options. We have the 2 folds, horizontal and vertical. We have the 8 folds, which is my preference, where you have 8 folds going around the center of your radial design. And then we have our last example, which is our 4, but it's in the triangle. This one I find is not as successful, so I would warn you not to do this one. If you do choose to do this one, make sure you go from the inside of the circle outwards with your word. For my demo today, I'm going to do the 8 example, but I'm going to show you, no matter what you're doing, how to take your rectangular paper and make it a perfect square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this corner, and I'm not actually going to make this fold. I'm just going to get it to where it's at that corner, and I'm going to rotate this to where it's at the edge. And then I'm just going to make a tiny little line. And then I'm going to take this, and again, I'm not folding it. I'm just bringing it up. I'm going to hold this with this hand, then drag my pencil where I have my line, and now I'm going to cut. Alright, so now that I have that, I have to do my folds. First, I'm going to start with my horizontal fold. Then I'm going to do my vertical. So now I have my cross. So if I was just doing 4, that's where I would stop. Again, I'm going to go ahead and do 8. So I'm going to keep folding. I have 2 more folds. I'm going to bring this all the way to the corner. And again, the best way I find is I hold this and then I use my other hand to shift to the other side. Notice that this is right in the corner here. Let me see if I can get you to see it. So when I fold this, I have that perfect corner. That's what you need. And then I need to fold it the opposite way. And again, the biggest trick here is making sure that all of my lines come together in the same exact spot. If they don't come together in the same exact spot, this won't work successfully because you need those all to line up. We're going to use our knowledge of symmetry, so we're going to start by just folding it down where I can see one individual shape. Now, for this, it doesn't really matter which way you go. I'm going to go from this inner corner to here. So I chose the word hope. If you want to make your lettering interesting, you can. Now you'll notice that I'm not drawing the tops and bottoms. I'm taking my letters from the top and I'm bringing them down to the bottom, but I'm not finishing them. And then I have a little bit of negative space, so I'm going to go ahead and just draw some shapes of part of a heart. Notice that I'm, again, running it off the edge of that paper. And I'm going to leave that space. So now I have my word defined in my one section. Now I want to go back over my lines to make sure that I have enough pencil there and that it's really dark so I can definitely see it. I find that if you work on a harder surface like a wood table or wood surface that you get a better result because the pencil just tends to make more of a mark on your paper. If you work on like a textbook, it doesn't really do it. Okay, so now I have that. Now my next step is I'm going to use something called trace transfer. So I'm actually going to fold this to where this is now touching the other half of that square. Now, if you look closely, you can see that the letters through the paper. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace those letters. Now, it's really important to trace right where you see that line. If you go in a different spot, this doesn't work. Basically, what we're doing is we're creating a lift where we're taking the graphite that's on the other side of this paper that we drew on originally, and it's transferring to that other side that was blank. Now you'll see, we open up, we have our transferred image. Now, this is not as visible as this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over my pencil lines. And now I'm going to take this whole square and I'm going to fold it to touch this. I'm going to trace back over these pencil lines and I'm going to trace over this so that both of these sides go here. I'm going to trace back over these two so that they show up just as dark as this. Alright, so now I have half of my design. Now you know how to do this. You're continuing to fold to get your image in the other two areas. Alright, so here is my finished line design. I did not trace these lines, just leave them as is. You want all of those sections to come together. So this is what we want for week 1. You're going to photograph this and you are going to attach it to your Google Classroom and submit it. Good luck. If you need anything, let me know.